we have in our social investment sector is that there's not enough money, so we all can only fund quite small, quite slow levels of growth.
So we didn't get far enough to run into that problem, which is maybe why we're very optimistic about it, although we had to be optimistic because we were starting something. We spoke to Mustard Seed and Bridges and some of those guys. They didn't flag anything like that with the idea we were working on, but maybe exactly. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, very much impact investors. And also regular investors, or we hadn't got to the point where we needed to cross the bridge of who gets what equity and what does that mean. So, yeah.
Yeah, just from a natural perspective, I actually went completely, exactly for the reasons Andrew mentioned, went down the commercial route of kind of standard startup funding, didn't really explore impact investing, although I did go to an event actually where a VC said, I hate it when you combine both female founders and social impact together. I would not invest, which was just like a what? So I think there is definitely a perception in terms of definitely in the VC space that social impact will not make the kind of, will not be the next unicorn for them, which really needs to change.
And Bridges have moved away from it as well.
Yeah.
So I have Lucy next,
Hi.
then Tara, then Kate, and then you at the back. So you're in the queue.
I ordered the last.
My short-term memory is shot, but I think I wanted to ask, because it's fantastic the work you're doing, and 8 months in, good on you, you're still smiling, which is a good sign. So a lot of the organisations you're working with are currently pairing up or matching with the big NGOs, the big charities. So I started a smaller charity, which is around about 1 million. So I'm like a really big, it's the under 1 million that are going to change the world. Sorry for everyone here who's over 1 million, but the kind of nimble.
It's the majority of the sector.
Exactly.
It's like,
so my question is how can you help us as as charities that are smaller, but don't ever underestimate us. We've got so much to give, and so and we have, as you've said, it being part of a bigger organisation, you have, apart from your castle, which I'm really sorry about. I loved your fairy tale there. You completely got me. But it's a very, very different place, our world.
and in a way, more space to innovate when you're smaller. In
Precisely.
a sense.
So, I've had 2 glasses of wine, and I finished my charity 2 weeks ago, so therefore I am slightly drunk. But I'd just like to ask you, why would you consider going for, working with smaller charities?
Yeah, totally. Actually, we work with all kinds of charities. So we work with non-profits in general, any size at all. And actually, the smaller ones end up being the more innovative.
Yeah.
As you say, they move a lot faster to match, and often it's a lot easier actually to match them. Because we have, on the corporate side as well, we have a range of kind of large and small organisations. So if we have a small team of developers who really want to help a small side hustle, actually Matthew's here you can talk about that later. But yeah, so people are kind of really keen to get going, and also we need a project for our apprentices to do next month. The only kind of charity or organisation that can go that fast and work that fast with them is a small one. So, and also for them it's really great because the corporates really feel like they're having more of an impact when you're working with a smaller charity because they can really see what the fruits of their labour is helping with. So
Perfect.
yeah. Thank you.
My question's for Mel, because you mentioned the learning hat and wearing the learning hat being difficult. As someone who's also found difficulty at the Great Crook, wearing the learning hat, how do you recommend balancing learning with actually achieving results and communicating that impact?
Yeah.
That's a challenge. Not everyone is a fan of the hat, and not everyone's wearing the hat. So sorry, I just called it the learning hat. So basically, I had this massive. I thought I was in innovation at COK for 5 years. This was just the last year. And throughout that time, I thought I was all about learning. Test and learn, great. Of course, it's a good thing. You need to build an idea. If you don't know, it's going to be good. But it wasn't until I did this, and we were living and breathing what that actually meant, that I actually made the flip of saying, do you know what, the creativity and the quality of the idea is important, and the delivery of that is important, but what is more important in almost every situation is what am I learning and how quickly am I learning it, and what's the quality of the evidence. And that was the caused me a lot of inner turmoil, actually, because I'd been judging myself and other people, being a team leader, on what's the quality of the idea, how quickly are you moving on to the next stage, is it creative enough, have you done the feasibility, have you thought about the finances. I wasn't asking the questions as much about, it wasn't, forget about that, let's talk about the learning. What do you want to learn next? How do you know? Pick one. The focus goggles, are you wearing those as well? And actually, I did a bit of share back with what became 2 merged innovation teams at COK after this had occurred. I'd left and gone on to do this. And they had realised that, their team leader had realised that half of the team was wearing the learning hat and prioritising learning above everything else and judging their own worth on that. And half of the team was judging their own worth and whether they were doing a good job on the quality of the idea. And they were getting this invisible arguments when it came to actually try and work together. It's just that they hadn't surfaced that. And it's a really different value system. You end up prioritising totally different